life form.
Wildlife officials minding their own business, counting bighorn sheep from a helicopter last week, looked down and spotted this.
What the heck is that?
The crew landed the chopper and began to investigate, finding a shiny triangular monolith standing about 2 Earthlings high, solidly mounted to the rock.
They cut it in.
One of the crew members notices the monolith points toward a split in the canyon wall, perhaps suggesting the alignment might have some type of Stonehenge-like significance.
What on earth is this thing? And how did it end up in a remote corner of the Utah desert?
Yeah, well, everybody's seen this development, this discovery. Is it deliberate? Is it planned? To me, this looks like, or is, an obelisk that they would have used in, or have been using in secret pagan rituals. The area where it's been installed is circular, which always seems to resemble that which is favoured by pagans.
Today, in England, witchcraft and its more modern incarnation, Wicca, are pagan religions. Wiccans worship the gods and spirits of nature. In return for their faith, the spirits grant them the power of magic.
So that's demons, sorcerers and demons, the two go hand in hand. This is just a complete evil that's coming out now in the world. So these obelisks obviously originate from Egypt and were sort of dedications to their pagan sun god. And they're all over the world now. There's obviously Babylon, there's one in Vatican Square, which is like a giant sundial. Obviously, if you look from it from above, you can see the pagan wheel. I've done videos about that in the past, where there's it marks out the solstices and equinoxes. So I mean that's the pagan wheel, which what these devil worshippers are into. And you can see here ones you'll recognise here is Yule, which is December, so 19th to 22nd, which is the winter solstice. And then you've got December 25th, which is the first detectable lengthening of daylight hours. And then you've got Easter here. But they put the obelisk in the middle there, and then there's like a kind of sundial. It goes around the wheel of the year. But one of the things it reminded me of straight away was how the Georgia Guidestones were discovered, and they had just been erected secretly, and then they're suddenly disclosed with the commandments which are linked into this Wicca witchcraft. The top one being about the population of mankind should be in a perpetual balance with nature, as it says at the top. And then as you come down, it says, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. And then it talks about laws, etc. And at the bottom again it says, don't be a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature, leave room for nature. It says it twice. So this is tying back into the agenda that they have, which is linked into paganism. The Roman Catholic Church leading this charge on climate change as it's known to the public. So obviously the kings commit fornication with the great whore, and they're very much into the indoctrination of this being in perpetual balance with nature.
I think about Romania, Transylvania in particular, is that there's so much we can learn from, it seems to me. It is the last corner of Europe where you see true sustainability and complete resilience and the maintenance of entire ecosystems for the benefit of mankind, and also for nature. And there's so much we must learn from that before it's too late, I think.
So presumably this is why it's so important to preserve it for the future.
Well, I think so, but people will say, oh, well, she's just trying to preserve things in aspic, or trying to prevent progress and so on. But you'd think by now we might have learned a few lessons from the things that have gone wrong with an agri-industrial approach to everything. Because the great thing, it seems to me, about Transylvania is the combination of natural ecosystems, the forests and the agricultural areas together with the human cultural systems.
I'll just pause it there. You see, he's put, he hasn't said so, but you can see horse and cart. It's like saying, yeah, anything to do with the Industrial Revolution has to go. He mentioned agri-industry. That means tractors, combine harvesters. If you think about America, they have these enormous areas of land where they harvest enormous amounts of grain, and those cereals pretty much feed the entire population of the world. They export them, and very poor areas can eat. So what they're mentioning here is this plan of deindustrialization.
And it's this extraordinarily unique, integrated relationship which is of such huge importance. Once you pull it all apart, you're left with something which can just be exploited without...
Okay, so basically, you know, they'll talk about this till the cows come home, until literally they've done it. But now we're looking at this thing with what they're calling the Great Reset, which is the full title is the Great Reset of Capitalism, which is them trying to get rid of capitalism, the free market, abundance, etc., that comes with the free market, because capitalism is basically a people-led program of increasing in wealth, whereas their favoured model is communism, which is government led, and ties back into what we've seen about what they've already mentioned in the Georgia Guidestones. As we know, with the Illuminati, their founder appears to have been called Adam Weishaupt, which I didn't realise until recently that Weishaupt means first man in German. So this name clearly would be quite a coincidence if it was real, which is suggested it isn't real, because it means Adam the first man, i.e. The founder of the secret society of the Illuminati, who it isn't mentioned that he was a Jesuit. If we look at the philosophy of the man, it says that he sought to promote doctrines of equality and freedom throughout the society, while others such as Collier's have said the aim was to combat religion and foster rationalism in its place. Okay, folks, stay with it. I mean, I know we've gone from that monument to this, but it's all linked. Okay, so his project of illumination, enlightening the understanding by the sun of reason, which will dispel the clouds of superstition and prejudice, was an unwelcome reform. He used Freemasonry to recruit for his own quasi-Masonic society, with the goal of perfecting human nature through re-education to achieve a communal state with nature. There we go, see folks, see the tie, witchcraft, tied it all back in, who these people are, who they serve, what their aims are. And actually, I read in one of his philosophical essays that he saw the highest state of man's freedom was in savagery. Now, a savage is a man who is uncivilized, obviously, and that's why you're now seeing and hearing these elites glorify people such as the Amazon rainforest Indians, who go around with dart guns shooting their lunch. And as we know from the diaries of explorers who used to go up the Amazon, they were cannibals and headhunters and head shrinkers, etc. I mean, this is the kind of people we're dealing with.